A Time to Act by Randall Edge. This is an audiobook, all rights reserved. Read by Randall Edge. A Time to Act, Chapter 1. What is happening? Attention! Attention! Incoming missiles! Incoming missiles! All personnel to shelter areas. 10 minutes to contact. The speakers went silent. The moment that Nathan Walters heard the warning announcement, he and his comrades each made their own personally focused sprint for safety level 5. Minutes before, he had been relishing the sunshine pouring in through the skylight onto his workbench. It again became clear it was no longer meant to be. Nathan knew he had one of the longest trips to make. It would be a full 2 minutes before he would skid to a stop at the door of his assigned shelter. He caught his breath and watched in silence as the shelter's hatch hissed quietly as its seal closed. It's always seemed to latch in place with an echoing sound of impending danger. He was now sealed in. It was like being in a submarine that was about to dive into the abyss. Instantly, he felt a moment of panic. Did his family make it to the safety shelter as well? He turned, and there was Madeline, and there was his son Jason. Nathan took a deep breath of relief. They both looked up as he approached. The smiles were shared among them, one and all. The moments then began passing one by one. Soon the closing procedure would be fully complete. The hatch's instrument panel finally displayed the signal that the door was now secure. Almost immediately, the shelter floor shook as the entire shelter dropped neatly into its reinforced glass footings, buried deep under the plant complex. Nathan had called the place his home now for several years. He thought to himself, let them be wrong just this once. All had been accomplished in a space of 5 minutes. All that could be done had been done. All there was to do now was to wait. Wait and hope that the announcement was an error. Hope that this plant was not the target this time. Nathan thought quietly to himself, how could they know about our whereabouts? This plant has been kept secret for so long now. Nathan nervously scanned his watch to see that the full 10 minutes were just about over. He looked upward at the ceiling. As he feared, there was no need to check his watch a second time. Everyone in the shelter felt the shelter slumped to one side, and the deafening sound of full-scale nuclear detonations ringing in their ears as the missiles up above found their predetermined targets. Nathan clenched his fists. It was so unfair. Plant Beta 2 was the last of the above grounds. He hated the enemy. They were making such accurate strikes lately. Nathan could feel the Earth's surface directly above the shelter being melted and transformed. Soon it would only be a charred radioactive homeland for the Rinsects. Rinsects, the hideous creatures that thrived in the bombed wastelands. Soon the day would come when the war would be against them instead of the Haitians. In relatively short order, the assigned communications officer for the shelter had established contact with PN Rescue. Salvage Team 7 apparently had already been dispatched. PN advised that the relocation procedures would commence within 12 hours, delay being attributed to quite a messy cleanup job upstairs. End of Chapter 1.